Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB. They got all the goods. They're tweeting out awesome stuff to keep you updated on injuries, home runs, you name it. They got it. And download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, because it's the easiest way to build a lineup, folks. It has all the tools you need to make it happen, the chat rooms, everything you could possibly want in the palm of your hands to build your lineup. So go check it out in your app store of choice. I am on Twitter at BDentric, and my co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Watch John Gant dance around danger again. A lot of fun. I know that is, a table flipping for you. So try not to flip the table over. We also saw Philly drop 17 runs tonight.
Didn't see that one coming.
Woo! I mean, come on, man. So it was an interesting night. There was a dust up in the desert between the D-backs and the Mets a little bit too. So fun night so far.
Yeah, Alex Wood gave up 7 runs in 3 2/3. Andrew Heaney, he can go jump in the same lake as John Gant. It's just there's certain guys I don't at least Heaney, I know he's at least kind of decent. Like, I'm not clueless there. But John Gant, there's nothing that points to any reason this should be happening. It is the bizarro world of bizarro worlds, and I'll continue to stack against him because the blow-up's going to be legendary, and I'm going to make money on every bit of it. So that's going to happen. That's very, very disappointing. But overall, it was a fun slate. Glass now, it wasn't the most perfect start, but still very good, 20-plus points. Herman Marquez was outstanding in Colorado because Texas, just Texas. I don't know if I'm going to use the pitcher tonight. We'll get to that game. Yeah, don't think I'm going there, but Marquez is just, some of these guys I'll take my chances with. But it was a fun slate. It was double dong central. I think there was 4 in one game alone. And because Herrera hit 2, McCutcheon hit 2, I know that. Sal Perez hit 2. There was just home runs everywhere. It was a pretty fun game a fun night to say the least. But on Wednesday, you have a 4-game early slate. Again, if you download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, they got everything you need to set that up. No problems whatsoever. They also have what you'll need for the 8-game slate, but we will break down the 8-game slate for you game by game on this one. Knock on wood, there's only one weather concern, and that is potentially 35 to 40% chance of rain in Buffalo. So our Alek Manoah start might be interesting. Let's just
kind of expensive tonight anyway.
Yeah, let's just hope it's scattered and it kind of just goes other ways, and we still get that in because I want 8 games.
40, you're still rolling them bones.
For bats for sure. Pitching's interesting because Alek Manoah is going to be chalky. We'll get to that, so that'll be a discussion point. And then the only windy situation, Minnesota-Baltimore, we saw tons of offense on Tuesday, blowing out to left field about 11 miles an hour. So let's get cracking on this one. We'll start Minnesota at Baltimore. We don't have all the totals. Just going to get that one out of the way right now. And we don't have this one because we got Randy Dobnak on the bump against Matt Harvey. The reason we don't have the total is Matt Harvey is apparently the opener in this one. And I have not seen who is coming in after him. But in reality, it's the Orioles. Doesn't matter. Exactly. Yeah. That's where I was going. But Dobnak's 55 on DK, 73 on FanDuel. And what I will say, Bogman, before I give you the floor, pitching is really bad on this slate.
It's bad.
Contrary to Tuesday's slate where there's 9 or 10 guys that you could feel pretty good about, it's bad. So Dobnak as an SP2 on DK, I can understand an argument for because Baltimore, we saw him hit. We've also seen him do nothing, and they strike out a ton. So I get it.
Yeah, and he's had 6-inning pitch the last 2 starts in a row, but low K upside, and he's a bit of a landmine too with that wind blowing out. I think there are better options for an SP2, even on a slate like this where it does seem a little bit more limited than most nights. So I'm going to pass on both. I'm going to stick with hitting in this one. I'm going to look for guys like Mullins, Mancini, both 4,029 for Mullins on FanDuel, 36 for Mancini, 31 and 28. So it's still a nice deal for Santander here. I was going to be into Mitch Garver, but good Lord. I mean, did you see what happened to him?
Yep, not good, Bob.
No man likes that. I can tell you that much. So not fun to watch either. I had that Exact same thing happened to me when I was playing softball. Didn't think during batting practice I'd have to wear a cup behind the plate, and should have wore a cup. It's just stuff that happens. Jorge Polanco and Josh Donaldson are who I'm aiming for on the twin side here. So I'm going to stick to bats in this one.
Definitely a game to have some fun with. If you aren't on Dominic, like you mentioned, Cedric Mullins had a big game on Tuesday, stole a bag, triple, scored some runs, super productive like we've seen him do before. Mancini had some fun, but Santander is still super cheap, and he's hitting the ball very, very hard right now. So the continued, the big games are coming for Santander. So I don't mind that at all. There's other pieces you can mix and match, but those are the main pieces you want in Baltimore. And then the Twins, they didn't do much on Monday, let everybody down. They did just a little bit on Tuesday. It feels like something's coming. Kirilloff's still affordable. Larnack at least pinch hit on Tuesday, so he should be back in the lineup. You'd hope on Wednesday. He's super cheap. And there's always guys like between Garlick and maybe Restner's back in the lineup on Wednesday. Lots of value with Minnesota against Matt Harvey because you might want to pay up for pitching. So
Poor Ref Snyder, by the way. Value. Did you see the tape, the outline they put on center field?
So
that was amazing.
So good. Like that's the kind of humor I'm all about. Like throw some of that out there.
Guys tripping around first. They always get the outline. All that stuff is great.
That's harmless fun. So no problem with that at all. Let's go to the next one. We go to the Bronx. Tampa Bay Rays at the New York Yankees. Shane McClanahan against Jordan Montgomery. Man, if you had to do the stitch work on their two jerseys, you'd be a tired man. Over under 8.5 on this one. McClanahan 76 on DK, 71 on FanDuel. Montgomery 93 on DK, 75 on FanDuel. Honestly, Bogman, I kind of like both guys. I like McClanahan more for his price tag, but I like both guys in this game.
I think if I want one, I'm going to go with McClanahan. I probably don't want either, to be honest. Like, this is another example of the pitching. You may need to go with one of them here just because the pitching is so rough today. But I really don't want either. But if I had to pick one, it'd be McClanahan. Montgomery in his last two starts against Tampa Bay, 11 innings pitched and 8 earned run. Yeah, so he doesn't pitch well against them.
Yeah, and the thing I'll say is Tampa Bay still striking out a lot versus lefties, but over the last couple weeks since the 15th, they are starting to hit with some pop against lefties. Yeah. So that's starting to improve. The thing with the Yankees, though, they're striking out almost 30% of the time since the 15th, so about 2.5 weeks versus lefties, and they're hitting close to 200, and they have like a 66 WRC plus. They've been atrocious versus lefties. Not saying that'll continue because they're good enough to stop that, but McClanahan, I think he's in play. Not on FanDuel at all because he's not going to quality start you. So you don't want that at all. SP2 on DK, I'm there. He's going to go max 5 innings, 65 to 75 pitches. Hopefully he can rack up strikeouts, get you 15 plus points. That's your goal, folks. What bats do you like in this one?
Yeah, for this one, I mean, there's a little PVB data, like I said, against Montgomery. 2 for 4 for Zunino with 2 bombs against Montgomery. 4 for 9 for Margot with 3 doubles and a homer. So all of his hits have been extra bases against Montgomery. 2 for 7 for Mike Brousseau, should he be in there with a bomb. And I like Austin Meadows, went yard again tonight, 55 and 41. Brett Phillips has been hitting too, so if he's in there, 2,100 a piece for him. And then on the Yankee side, Judge, Odor, and you are the guys that have been hitting recently. So that's who I'm interested in.
Yeah, should be a fun one. Rosarena also in play as well versus the lefty. Let's go to Buffalo, where the rain chance is 35 to 40%. You have the Miami Marlins at the Toronto Blue Jays. Pablo Lopez, Alek Manoah, over under 8.5. Manoah is 82 on DK, 10,000 on FanDuel. That 10,000 is way too expensive. Lopez is 10,000 on DK, 84 on FanDuel. 84 on FanDuel is interesting there. But these Toronto bats are just on fire, Bogman. And Manoah was awesome in his first start. Miami's, you can pick on Miami. We saw Robbie Ray do it. But any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't really want either one of them. I'm okay with Manoah on DK at that price. 8,200 is fine. But with rain, maybe you don't want to chance it. I kind of get that. I'm not paying 10,000 for him with other guys on this slate that are just, I mean, how much more? I mean, spoiler alert, but Bueller's on this slate, and he's cheaper than Manoah on FanDuel. So
that's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm going to take the cheaper option between those two. I know he's going to be popular tonight, but no thanks. Lopez, 2 quality starts in a row, but I just think Toronto's bats are too hot. I don't want to mess with it. So I'm going to stick in front of the train. Bats. Yeah, I'm going to stick to bats, and it's, Garrett Cooper, 36 and 23, Starling Marte, 44 and 34, Grichuk, Bo Bichette, Teoscar, all expensive. So are Simeon and Gurriel are kind of expensive as well. Gurriel's actually cheap on FanDuel, 2,700. Panic has been hitting, and he's cheap on both, 38 and 2,200. But yeah, I'm going to stick to mainly bats on the Toronto side.
Yeah, I like the Toronto stack. I'm a big Pablo Lopez fan, but if that changeup's not working, it doesn't end well, folks. And on the road, he's usually worse than at home. I'll take my chances with Toronto in this one. So give me some Toronto. I do like Manoah on DK at $8,200, though. On a slate like this, he's going to be chalky. So buckle up and eat that chalk, folks. Get that Pepto-Bismol going for you. Washington at the Atlanta Braves. No total in this one, as we have the wonderful Johnny Lester making the start, 9,100 on DK versus Drew Smiley, 72 on DK, 76 on FanDuel. He had 3 out of 4 starts, been pretty good for Smiley of late. I think he's in play on this slate, Bogman.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a landmine.
Big time.
3 quality starts in a row before he gave up 7 to Boston in his last start. I'm not going to do it. I don't want anything to do with Lester either, especially at that price. It's absurd. So no thanks. I'm going to stick to bats in this game too. So it's, there's some PVB data here against Smiley. Schwarber, 2 for 5 with a double and a homer. So both of his hits gone for extra bases. 6 for 19 for Yan Gomes with 2 doubles and 2 homers. 4 for 10 with a double for Starlin Castro. And then it's, if you want to pay up for Acuna, do it. I mean, went yard again tonight. He's just been incredible recently, and really the whole year. Swanson, 41 and 25 has been hitting. William Contreras has been hitting too, and then Trey Turner. Those are the bats I'm interested in this. Smiley probably needs to be in play, but I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, he needs to be in play just because there's no options, at least on DK. FanDuel, okay, that's fine. DK, you're running out of choices here pretty quickly, and it's tough to get the 2 pitchers in on this one. But Acuna, play him. I don't care how much it costs. Like, the dude, he gets on and steals bags. He hits home runs. He's literally the jack of all trades, which is a fantasy gold mine. Will he have down nights? Sure, but way more good ones than bad these days. Like, he put over 30 points on Tuesday night. So just keep chugging along on that one, folks. Yeah. All right, Boston Red Sox at the Houston Astros. Pivetta, Framber, over-under of 9 on this one. You got Pivetta, 87 on DK, 78 on FanDuel. Valdez, 78 on DK, 7,000 on FanDuel, making his second start back. Threw about 70 pitches, give or take, in his first start back. Do any of these pitchers get your fancy?
Yeah, I kind of like Framber against Boston. So, Boston doesn't have a lot of hot hitters in the lineup. There's a couple, JD has been hitting, but he hasn't been hitting for power recently. Kike has been hitting, and he's a nice cheap option, 39 and 27. Hunter Renfroe's been hitting, and he's 33 and 29. So there are bats to buy on Boston's side, but not many. So I kind of like Framber, even though he's going to be a bit limited. I would just rather take my risk with him than a couple of the landmines that we've mentioned before. So I'm going to stick to Framber and then bats, and mainly on the Houston side. Correa, Kyle Tucker still cheap for some reason, 35 cheap. And 32. I think he's got to be in your lineup regardless of where you're playing tonight. Jose Altuve, 5,000, 3,600. Chas McCormick has been hitting 26 and 2,300, and Miles Straw has been hitting a little bit too. If he's in the lineup, 22 and 2,100. So I'm sticking to bats, but I do like Valdez.
Yeah, I hear the Framber argument. I'm not there yet. If they told me he's throwing like 95 pitches, I'd be much more excited. So if I can hear that, that'll make me feel better. Otherwise, it's kind of like him or McClanahan type debate. Right. So he's definitely in play, though. Something to keep in mind. I love the Astros tonight. Pivetta, if you dig even deeper on his numbers, he's been good. Strikeouts have been there, but it's not quite the John Gant luck box. No one's that lucky. No one's that lucky, but Pivetta's got some regression coming his way as well. It's going to be very fun. And that Kyle Tucker price tag's too cheap. I will say Jordan Alvarez is cheap, but since he's got that wrist injury, he has done absolutely nothing. I think he's actually really hurt. I don't know what the Astros are doing right now. It really
this feels like weird dustiness to me. So yeah, I don't know.
They sat him out for 2 games because of his wrist, and he hasn't done anything since he's come back. It feels like he's still hurt. Bregman's swinging it though, but Tucker's my favorite play. He's so cheap, especially on DK at 35. That's just ridiculous prices. All right, the game everybody wants to play, even though it was 3-2 on Tuesday, because there's 2 just bad offenses. Texas Rangers, Colorado Rockies, Coors Field Special, Jordan Lyles, Antonio Sensatella, 10.5 is the over-under. What bats do you like in this game, Bogman?
Lyles might be okay, but I'm not going to do it. Not in Colorado.
You play Drew Smiley before you play him and just stop it, okay?
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. You're right. And look, Colorado made Adolis Garcia get priced correctly. So
yes,
he's actually more expensive in DK than FanDuel for once, 5,000 and 4,500. But I would still, he's in play if you want to pay up for him. Gallo 43 and 4,000 in Colorado is just fun to watch. Dawes has been hitting, not for power ever, but 31 and 25 for him. Blackman's starting to pick it up. He's expensive, and so is Ryan McMahon. They're all expensive here, but I think they're all okay and all worth paying for.
Yeah, this is a game like I wasn't all in on it on Tuesday, but I am on this one. Like Dawes about at second on Tuesday, put up double-digit fantasy points. He'll probably be batting there again with Lyles on the mound. I love McMahon. He's just hitting everything right now. So go that route. Brendan Rodgers didn't do much, but I keep trusting the value there in Coors Field. There's a lot of value. Fuentes is cheap. You can get some cheap Rockies, and they were low owned on Tuesday. And then I do like the Texas side of things. You mentioned Garcia's price is up. Gallo's still affordable. Nate Lowe's only still like 3,700 or something like that on DK, and even less on FanDuel. So there's a lot to be had. Calhoun's cheap. Texas is a very good spot because Sensatella, if he gets it done tonight, Texas just should quit baseball because this is Coors Field against Sensatella. This is batting practice. Rangers, get it together, okay? This is where it has to happen. Don't pull a Dodgers here against John Gant. Don't do it. Next game, speaking of the Dodgers, St. Louis Cardinals, Los Angeles Dodgers. Carlos Martinez, Walker Buehler, over under of 8 in this one. Carlos Martinez, 6,300 on DK, 6,900 on FanDuel. Buehler, 10,000 on DK, 97 on FanDuel. I didn't know it until you said it. The fact he's cheaper than Manoah is just wrong on so many levels.
Crazy.
Like, you just play Buehler, folks. That's nuts.
I mean, Buehler is the chalkiest chalk to ever chalk, it feels like right here.
On
I mean,
FanDuel,
it's just,
for sure.
Yeah, he's going to be in everybody's lineup. I mean, I like one pitcher in the next game, the last game here, but yeah, I mean, Buehler is the guy. But the problem, I guess maybe the problem with Buehler is that some of these bats have been crazy recently for St. Louis. I mean, Tyler O'Neill is hitting on a different level, 4,400, 3,400. Same thing with Edman right now, 48 and 29. Goldie was good again tonight. Molina's been hitting, and he's just always in the lineup. So, some of these Cardinals bats have been hitting, but, with the options that we have, I mean, who's the second best option behind Buehler at their price? Is it Smiley? I mean, is it Manoah or Lopez?
On DK, it's Manoah. For DK, it's Manoah for me. That's how bad it is.
Right. And it's his second major league start. I don't know if I want to defend
it. It's a bad slate for pitching. So, it's very bad.
Yeah. So, I'm going to, I like Buehler here, which makes me out on Cardinals bats, even some of these hot ones. But if you want to play Turner, Muncy, or Taylor, because I don't believe in Carlos Martinez. I know he has 2 quality starts in a row, but the last start was against the Diamondbacks, made him look like Cy Young. So I am not going with Carlos Martinez at all.
Yep, I am not a Carlos Martinez fan as well. I'm with you there. So I'll go back to my Dodgers on this one. Muncy, Taylor, like you mentioned, Turner. Don't forget Gavin Lux is very affordable. And then see who they put out there, because Matt Beattie is like the minimum on both sites. And when he plays, he's usually hitting towards the top of the order. So you can get some – and Bellinger had the night off on Tuesday. He'll probably be back on Wednesday as he comes back from injury. The Dodgers, they're going to start clicking here, and Martinez is not as good as he's been, like you said, the last few games. The other thing I'll mention with Buehler, I still like him a lot, especially because this slate's just so bad. He stands out as a great option. The thing with the Cardinals, you mentioned they've been hitting of late. Over the last couple of weeks, they're striking out only 19% of the time versus righties. Like, they're putting everything in play. And we need those strikeouts. But on a bad slate, like, even if it's just 6 innings of, like, 2 runs and 5 Ks, that's going to do it on this slate. Like, you just need – Buehler's going to give you 95-plus pitches. You know that much, unless he gets shelled. If that happens, doesn't even matter. So, I'm with you on Buehler. That price on FanDuel is hilarious, by the way. I still can't believe – like, Alek Manoah is a good young pitcher, but come on.
People are excited. I mean, the Blue Jays are an exciting team. So, you get to play Manoah and you get all those bats. I mean, you have to pay $2,000 for everybody else. But
Jays.
Yeah, they've
Tons
been great.
Of fun. All right, final game on this 8-game slate, the Oakland Athletics at the Seattle Mariners. Sean Manaea, Chris Flexen, over under of 8 in this game. I'm guessing Chris Flexen's not the guy you're interested in.
It's Manaea. I know you hate him, but he's going to be at his He's expensive on DK 9,600, 8,500 on FanDuel, but he's number 2 to me behind Buehler. I mean, 2 earned runs in his last 2 starts, so he's been good. And it's Seattle. I'll say this for Haniger, he is 7 for 19, which is a 368 career against him, a double and a triple, no bombs against him. But I mean, who else is going to be hitting in this Mariners lineup? I mean, no one, Ty France. Are you going to depend on him? Tommy Murphy. These guys have been hitting a little bit, but I'm not going with any of those guys. I like Manaea tonight, so I just spend up on the pitching. I would spend up on if I'm in DK, I would go Buehler, Manaea, and then try to find deals on bats. So
there's tons of deals. You can make that work.
You can make it work, and it's 8 games, so that's enough to find enough deals. So I'm going to pay up for the pitching and cheap out on the hitting tonight.
I will say I'm at least interested in Manaea tonight based on the slate we have. I
Look
get
at
it
that.
because
it's like pulling teeth with you to give Manaea some credit.
I'm going to put
him
every
and Heaney,
caveat.
you don't like either one of those guys.
I'd rather play Manaea over Heaney every day of the week. Like Heaney.
Heaney versus Gant. You even said that's how much you hate Gant because
I might drive to
Anaheim.
I might drive to Anaheim to watch that game. Popcorn ready. Popcorn fireworks show. It wouldn't be the 4th of July. We get fireworks. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about traffic because you'd be coming home at 2:00 in the morning because the game would be 23-22. It'd be fine.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. My stacks would be going nuts. I'd be dancing in the stands. But on this slate, I get it. The thing that kind of worries me with Seattle, and it's weird to say, because you mentioned Haniger's good. France came back a week ago and he's crushing it since he came back. I was shocked to see it. They're still striking out about 25% of the time, but they're hitting like 260 with like a 150 WRC plus against lefties of late. Like they are crushing lefties, and I was shocked, absolutely shocked to see it. I still think they're not a good offense, and Kyle Lewis is also now out. He was a part of that damage, so keep all of that in mind. I still think on this slate you can target them. The thing we didn't talk about, though, is stack the Oakland bats versus flexing. I think if you're not going to Coors Field, I think Oakland's in play, and you get some value with guys like Kemp and Brown and stuff to go with Olsen, who went deep again. Like he is on fire, and his price hasn't really gone up a ton. So lots to like there. Laureano going on the IL is going to open up some more value in that offense. Yeah. I think those Oakland bats, they put up, as we're talking, it's the 8th inning, I believe, in Seattle, and they're up 8-4. They just put up like a 6th spot in the 7th or 8th inning. So this offense is very, very good, and Seattle's bullpen's very, very bad. So and Flexen's not great. I think the Oakland stack's a very good one to have outside of Coors Field.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, Bogman. So we talked about pitching. We've talked about stacks. We've talked about all kinds of cool stuff. What we haven't talked about is people need to go and rate and review the podcast on iTunes because that's very, very important for us, Bogman. It really, really moves the needle, lets people know about us, spreads the word. It might not be always great words, but it spreads the word of the On Deck podcast. So go check that out. If you prefer to watch us and make me almost not flip Bogman off and stuff like those kind of gestures, go to the LineStar YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and share all the goodies there.
You can see me trying to be quiet while the Diamondbacks are coming back in this game and fist pumping. So
yes,
definitely did a little bit of that because they got to Edwin Diaz and tied it, and they're going into the 10th now.
Ooh, baby. You get that runner on second, starting out extra innings rules. So much fun.
Everybody loves it.
But lastly, what everyone comes to the podcast for, remember, go follow LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB. They will retweet out the home run calls today from Bogman, myself, and Ryan Humphreys. If you retweet the tweet, 3 lucky retweeters, gets tough. It's a tongue tire every time I say this, is drawn to team up with one of us. And if one of our home runs hits, you win some free swag. And we've been cold lately. I'll be totally honest. Like the whole threesome, Humphreys was on fire for a while. Bogman was on fire. I've just been nuclear cold. It's been great. That's an oxymoron for those keeping track at home. But we're going to change things. It's June. We're into June. It's getting hot. It's going to be a fun summer. So Bogman, on June 2nd, who's your home run call of the day?
All right, let's go with go away debating. Give me Kyle Schwarber against Drew Smyly. So
the Schwarbomb.
Give me Schwarber to go yard. Let's go Schwarber.
You go Schwarbomb. I am going to go with the easy one here. Dude's just straight fire right now. Give me Ronald Acuna versus John Lester. Give me Acuna. It's too easy. I need a darn home run, people. So we are like, I try to get creative and stuff, but no, I'm just going to keep taking the chalk right now. Give me Ronald Acuna on this.
I've been going chalk. That's why I'm not going chalk tonight. Nothing's working. So we'll get it. We'll get it.
We're going to get there. Bogman goes Kyle Schwarber. We'll see what Ryan Humphreys done. Again, remember, 8-game main slate. There's a 4-game early slate. So go download the app in your Apple App Store, Google Play Store. get all the good stuff there. Then we have another kind of medium slate on Thursday we'll break down for you. But until then, good luck on Wednesday. You can find Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BD Intric. We'll catch you guys later.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to linestarapp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.